Hi guys, this is screenbench.com and this is Mohit Musani and next to me is Kim Hopkins. She needs
Hi.
no recognition. She needs no introduction. She's been in the industry for well over 5 decades. So that's that's an incredible achievement, and there are a lot of interesting things about her career. And to begin with, firstly, uh, Kim, congratulations on winning 27 awards in the past 9 months.
Thank
And
you so much.
yeah, you won the Best Actress Award, Best Supporting Role Award, and the Best Director Award as well, which is impeccable. Seriously.
Thank thank you. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
very proud.
yeah. So you started at the age of 3 as a
Um,
model, right?
Correct. At 3, yes, in New York.
Yeah. And then things kept flowing.
Yep, it just kept going. I was there till I was about 12 and then came to Los Angeles and then went to Mexico and Japan and Europe, all over the world.
Yeah. That's what I was coming to because um, at 18, I believe you started traveling for work, and I believe Tokyo was the first place where you landed.
Yes, Tokyo was the first place I landed, and I was alone. I went with a modeling agency, but I was pretty much by myself, which I
Right.
wouldn't do today.
When you're young, you tend to take all sorts of risk.
Yeah, I don't think you realize you're taking risks at that age. You just think, oh, I'm just, you just do what you do.
Yeah.
When things come to you, you do them because it's fun and different and it's an adventure. And now I think about things a little bit more. I still do.
Yeah. So then you went to Mexico and Japan and Europe. So, what was the aim behind moving to different countries?
They were booking me on contracts to come and do modeling jobs and commercials and some acting in those places, depending on where it was.
Right.
Excuse me. It was
Uh,
them asking me to come, so I went where they asked me to go.
mhm. So you were going with the flow and trying to develop your career,
Yeah,
right? So right now you're heading for a new show called Door Girls by
Dora Girls.
by Abigail Breslins.
Yes, Abigail Breslin, who is at the moment starring in Stillwater with Matt Damon.
Wow.
That's everywhere. If you haven't seen it, go see it. She does an amazing job in that film. She's so talented, just an amazingly talented young woman. And she's an angel of a person on top of
Uh,
that. She's a very supportive person for other women.
mhm.
Yeah, so I'm not sure when we're going to New York to do that. Unfortunately, we were supposed to do it the beginning of this year, but her father passed away from COVID, God rest him. Um, and it
Amen.
was very hard on Abby.
Yeah. It's been hard for the entire world, and we've been hearing stories from across the world. Really sad stories where entire families are infected and they can't go out of the home, and nobody is
Yeah,
there for the burial, or you know, these times are really scary.
they are. And they're not, excuse me, they don't seem to be getting much better. It seems like the numbers are going up again.
exactly.
People are dying again, and it is very scary.
It
I mean,
is.
there are things we can do and people aren't doing them, so that's pretty frustrating to me.
Exactly. A lot of
But
people are not. Um, please continue.
I mean, I pray for the people who have lost their families, and I feel badly for anybody who's lost anyone because of COVID. But I'm also hoping that people will open their eyes and realize that this isn't a political or race thing. This is really just about protecting yourself and your family and the people around you.
Exactly. Uh,
But back to Door Girls. Door Girls is on the burner and we're going to go do it. But even more exciting news, I decided to write a limited series, and Abigail Breslin is dropping a new album. She also sings. So she's dropping a new album towards the end of September. And I asked her if she would be interested in letting me use one of her songs for it. And she said she would be happy to write for it. So she's going to be writing a song for this. And we are actually, after talking about it, we're going to be writing the series together with the gentleman that she writes with all the time. His name is Trevor. So the three of us are going to write it. Abby is going to act in it as well. So I think this is going to be a really big thing. I'm really
all the
excited.
best for your series, and
Thank you.
let's get down to your acting career. So, if I'm not wrong, your first film was Assault in Paradise,
Uh,
1977.
I think I don't remember if it was Maniac or Assault in Paradise. It was one of the two. They were both Roger Corman films, and I did them back to back. I think I did, yes, Assault in Paradise. It actually, and it was called something else when we made it. It
Yeah,
was called,
yeah. On the internet, it appears with two names. It's Assault in Paradise, and it comes as the Maniac as well.
oh, oh, but there's another on the other side of Paradise. The other side of Paradise was the one with Peter O'Toole.
Uh-huh. So that was your first film.
Yes.
And how did you find that gruesome film, your first project, and
The
everything
very
is so intense. How was that experience?
it was it was exciting and it was new. I hadn't done it was a big production and I had never done anything that big before. So it was a little bit intimidating and I wasn't sure where to be, when to be, how to be.
Right.
But the director was very, very kind and helpful. And I think I actually have the poster for Maniac,
Uh-huh.
which was the one. I do have it. I'll send it to you so you can. I'll send you a picture of it so you can see it.
Just
Um,
don't put it
yeah,
on your wall. Damn.
no, it's in the kitchen behind the garbage can.
Damn.
Yeah, people go, "Is that you behind the garbage?" Yeah, that's me behind the garbage can. I have a strange sense of humor.
Same here. I think we're gonna be good friends.
Good.
Then Cheek and Chong's next movie, 1980. Now that's
That
a
was
now that's a
that's,
complete reefer movie.
yeah, that was a fun film. It was a
Yeah.
really fun film. Tommy Chong is one of my favorite directors that I worked with. He's a really good director, very precise and
Of
just
course.
really good. I've run into him several times recently,
Uh-huh.
but Cheech was a little nutty. They were both a little nutty. It was a fun set. It was a really fun set.
Uh-huh. But Cheech and Chong is you know a cult classic, or I mean
Cult
every
classic.
yeah, or
They're they're doing a new movie.
they're doing a movie.
Yeah, they're doing a new movie.
That's awesome because there are so many fans. There's so many fans who weren't even born back then. 90s
Yeah,
kids, even the millennials and the everybody knows about the two, and
yeah,
they make a beautiful uh, pair of friends.
yeah, yep,
So
they do.
yeah,
Yeah, people always say, "Oh, you were in Cheech and Chong's next movie. That's so awesome."
of course, that's what I really admired, and that's what even compelled me to you know definitely take an interview with you because
Thank you.
yeah. So then you went on to the Hollywood Nights, 1980.
That was also another fun, another really fun film to work on. I'm still friends with a lot of the people from that film. A lot.
I
We're in
thought you were
touch.
gonna say that was another fucked up film too.
It did get a little crazy.
Yeah,
There was a lot of it was a lot of night shooting, and so there was a lot of craziness, but it was a lot of fun, and everybody who came out of that did really well. Well, Fran Drescher and Stuart Pankin, Sandy Helberg. I mean, everybody that was in that. I'm still friends with Don Clark, we were sort of sidekicks. Moosey Dryer, he is a grown man now. He was a little kid back then.
right.
Yeah, it was a really and Michelle Dreifer. Michelle, what's Michelle's? I can't think of Michelle's name right now. Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah.
Because I said Dreifer, and it like took my head out. Yeah, Michelle Pfeiffer and Tony Danza.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people in that film.
So good memories from there.
Pardon me?
So good memories from the movie.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It was a really fun. The cars that were in it were just amazing. They had all those old cars and I got to drive one of them.
Wow.
This yeah.
Okay. And you did like three movies in a year. Cheech and Chong, the Hollywood Nights, and the Happy Hooker goes to Hollywood. So,
Yeah.
how was your experience with the Happy Hooker?
I only took a small part in that film.
Uh-huh.
Uh it was a little it wasn't my kind of movie. I actually turned it down originally.
Right.
And then they found a part for me playing young Xavier Hollander
Uh-huh.
as a teenager. So I took that part. I was only on the set for one day, and that day was fine.
Right.
It just wasn't a film that I really wanted to be involved with at the time. I was trying to get away from those kind of films,
Right.
and that's when I left for Mexico
Uh-huh.
because I was getting work that I wasn't really interested in.
Right. So, guys, I'd like to tell you that Kim has been in over 300 commercials, and I'm sure she does not remember uh, even a quarter of them.
I remember a lot of them, but not all of
300
them.
is huge.
Yeah, it's actually more than 300 now. I think that was written a while ago. But yeah, um, I did a lot of commercials when I was a little girl. And
Um,
then when we came to California, I did 42 commercials just in Mexico in the first year that I was there.
amazing, amazing.
And I mean, I had some really great commercials. I did a commercial in Tokyo with Cantiflas,
Yeah.
who is the really famous Mexican comedian.
Uh-huh.
So that was like amazing. And I did a commercial in Mexico for I I don't remember what kind of liquor it was. I really don't drink except for tequila.
Uh-huh.
Um, but
Right
it
on
was
the hard stuff, huh?
pardon me.
Right on the hard stuff.
I can't.
Right on the hard stuff.
Yeah. But the commercial was with Anthony Quinn.
Right.
So Anthony, I got to meet some really amazing actors in Tokyo and
Yeah.
in Mexico doing commercials.
Right. Um, I also read about an incident where you had to act and you really like with the makeup on and everything, you had to uh, learn your lines in Japanese, and you
Yeah.
did that quite quickly within 4 hours. And
Oh, it wasn't even 4 hours. It was like it was about 20 minutes.
20 minutes. Wow. And
Yes.
and you were actually appreciated for your accent and the way you delivered the dialogues. So
Yeah.
that is really
I can
impressive.
I can still say one of the lines, just only one, and it's a short line. Oh, hold on a second. Because she was very upset and they were all talking at the same time. And she said, I said, "後で hanashimashou."
You do it so right. Do it so right. Okay. So, coming to your filmography, your latest project is Hitman Baby 2021.
Hit baby. It's hit baby.
Hit Baby. Sorry about that. Okay, and then previously you did Animals, that was 2017.
Yes.
So, how's your experience with filmography been?
With, excuse me, with what?
I think my voice is not clear.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's cutting in and out. It's okay.
really?
How I can tell you, okay, so Animals is my film. It's a film that I did. It's a short that I did. It was a proof of concept for a feature film that I'm writing. And I did end up getting funding from doing that. But that's the one we've won 19 uh, awards for. We shot it in 5 hours. I just happened to have been blessed to get Johnny Ray Diaz to play the part opposite me,
Uh-huh.
and he's won Best Actor quite a few times in this film, and he
Right,
also works all the time. He's an amazing actor and a really good person.
right,
But Animals was just it just came together so perfectly, and I'm extremely proud of it. It took me until the pandemic to get it into festivals.
right.
And once I did, it's just, I mean, it keeps winning. Every time I turn around, it wins something. Hit Baby is where I met Abigail Breslin. Hit Baby is a
Right.
show that a friend of ours wrote. And I was asked to do a part in one of the episodes and also direct one of the episodes,
Uh-huh.
which I did. But when I met Abigail, when she directed me, we became fast friends, and she appreciated the fact that I was professional and talented, and we just hit it off. And so we're going to be working together a lot in the future. And that's how this business works, is
Exactly.
creating relationships with people. But it's not, they're genuine, authentic relationships out of appreciation for whatever it is in the moment,
Exactly.
which is a very difficult thing to try and explain to young and new actors. They're always trying to figure out how to meet people and how to create relationships. They create themselves. You just have to be present, be professional, and be kind.
Be kind, of course. I was in conversation with the CEO of Madden Talents, and basically what he was talking about was uh, it's not really about the money or the face or anything. Business goes with creating good relationships, and that's how you can rely on your team, your actors, your cast, your crew. So you need to build up uh, great relationships, and that's how the business goes on.
Yeah, well, I mean, everybody always says, "Oh, Adam Sandler uses all the same people," and uh, I mean, yeah, the people who have production companies and they work with the same people all the time, and they work with the same actors all the time, and they work with the same DP all the time. I love the DP that I work with. He was the DP on Hit Baby, and now I'm using him for mine. Abby's using him for hers. When you
Right.
work with somebody who is a hard worker and who is dedicated to you and your project,
Yeah,
that's who you want to be with, So it, it's like any other thing. You have your friends because they're your friends. And if you can
exactly.
work with your friends, work with your friends.
Yeah, but that's not a good idea. You might end up losing your friend as well as your business partner.
That can happen too.
Yeah.
That can happen too. I in my acting class that I have, live in the moment acting, I use my actors for all my projects that I
Mhm.
do. I try and include them at the level that they're at. I include them in my projects.
All right. Uh, so guys, Kim got out of acting because of the casting couch kind of culture that was prevalent back then. And of course, this was not acceptable to her, which is great. But of course, each to his own or her own. I respect everybody's beliefs, so uh, I wouldn't call some actor who is, you know, uh, involved in such a thing to get roles a bad person, because each to his own. We all have our, you know, uh, set of principles. So yeah. So then, when Kim decided to get out of the acting industry, she did something really positive, and she created acting classes. Uh, there are three acting classes that she uh, coaches in: uh, the working actor formula, live in the moment acting, and last minute audition. So, Kim, could you shed some light on it? Tell us about
Sure.
how all these three programs are different from each other, and how's it going with them?
Okay. So last minute audition is just that. It's really focused on just auditions. So if someone has an audition and they need me to work with them privately and help them make the tape or get them to their audition, they come to me with their material and I work with them for an hour or two or three, whatever it takes. And that's all we do is just work on the audition. Auditioning is a totally different animal than actually acting because you have to get the job. Live in the moment acting class is not a class to teach people how to act, but how to refine their acting, fine tune their auditions, teach them the business of acting and explain to them, through my own personal stories or stories of other people in the class, how the business works, how to create relationships. I bring in producers, directors, casting directors to tell them, how the business works and how they can improve their standing in the business. But
Right.
it's not like one-on-one. The working actors formula is a year-long program where I work directly one-on-one with someone
Mhm.
from beginning to end, get their pictures and their actors access and their reel and their footage and all of their, get them agents and managers and get everything in order so that they have the full package, and I get them working. I help them get work. I do help people. A young lady named Melanie, who's in my Live in the Moment acting class, she'd never done anything. And a producer called me and asked me for somebody. And I sent her tape over that we made that week and he booked her. So she got her first acting role after her second week of being in my class.
That's awesome, Kim. That's awesome.
Well, I love helping people. I want to see, there's plenty of work. There are over 500 shows or more now that are going into production or are in production. So there's plenty of work for everyone. And I love to see people succeed. It gives me so much joy to know that people are working. I've gone on auditions and said to the casting director, you know what? I think my friend would be so much better for this. And she's like, really? We'll send him in. And I was a guy, actually. And I sent him in. He didn't book it, but he was like flabbergasted that I would do that. But
Right.
that's just the reality of it. You know, what what goes around comes around. Not everything
Yes.
is for you. So
Yeah. I love the positivity that you have. Uh, the kind of, mental mental the kind of heart that you have. It's not the mind, but it's a heart. It's a very kind heart, and we've been seeing it since a long time. So there's not much to explain. You've been in the industry for 5 decades, so of course everybody knows who you really are. There's no mask.
thank you.
Yeah. So, Kim, you also produced a film called The Addiction,
Yes,
yeah,
the addiction.
in
Yeah.
2020. So, what's that about? And what's the storyline?
The Addiction is written and directed by Ernest Hernandez,
Okay.
who is a good friend of mine now. Um, he asked me to do it. It's the story of a woman who was abusing drugs and very addicted, and her life was falling apart. Her son is getting married, and she's prepared to go to the wedding, and she gets a call from her son saying that they really don't want her to be there. And it just disrupts her whole psyche. She gets up from the phone call and says, you know what, okay, that's it, I'm just gonna throw everything away. And when you see the amount of drugs that she has just for right that moment, it's a pretty extensive amount of drugs. And she starts to flush them down the toilet and realizes she can't, and grabs them and starts to take them out of the toilet. And she, you know, relinquishes herself to the fact that she's a drug addict as she sits back down on the floor and then makes that decision to take the drugs out of her mouth and put them back in the toilet. And then it just follows. There's no dialogue. It just follows what happens in her mind and what happens in reality as she goes through withdrawals. And then at the end comes out, clear and alive and grateful.
Exactly. Addiction is definitely a disease, and
Yes.
we must support people who are addicts not by providing them drugs, but emotional support, psychological support, psychiatric support, uh, because you know there's a lot of mess inside the brain. You know, if the brain was so easy to comprehend, uh, we wouldn't, be able to comprehend it. If you get my point.
Yes, I do. I've had a lot of friends who were addicted to different, uh, alcohol or cocaine or heroin, and going through that with them is very difficult.
Of course.
You need to learn to get help when they're ready for it, or let
Yes.
them be when they're not ready for it.
Yes.
So, it's difficult. It's a difficult thing. But I do, I mean, I always post about mental health and
Yes,
addiction. I mean, it's not just drugs. I mean, people are going through so much right now, and it's really sad. I've lost friends because they just don't know what to do with themselves, and they cut themselves off, and it's really sad. So mental
yes,
health and addiction are things that are really important to me, that we reach out to the people, let people know that you're there for them. You know,
exactly.
ask the question if people are okay. If you haven't heard from someone for a while, give them a call. Make
Yeah,
sure that they're okay.
yeah. I've also personally known some uh, addicts, and every time I think about them, it just breaks my heart. Like,
Yeah.
I had back in uh, high school or something. I used to
Mm-hmm.
have a friend who was a fitness freak. I mean, he had muscles at points where we don't even know muscles exist, right? He was a fitness
Uh-huh.
freak, and he'd take his protein right after his exercise, wouldn't smoke anything, wouldn't smoke even regular cigarettes or anything. And unfortunately, I don't know, he met the wrong people and got onto heroin.
Oh
And
no.
that led to him being suspended from the school, as well as his body started to, getting weak. All those muscles, all that face mass had gone down, and you could actually see the bones. Then later on, we started getting news about he stealing things from camera stores, like those lenses, and no one's looking
Oh,
around, and entering events, because when you enter an event, nobody really asks you, a big event, nobody is gonna ask you uh, if you have an invitation or not, at least over
yeah.
here. So he used to you know try to steal the cameraman's lens, and because the lens is uh, quite pricey, and would give him, like, I don't know, maybe a week's kick or a day's kick, God knows. So
So sad.
yeah, and then his videos started coming up on Facebook, and it was so sad to see that the same guy who was such a fitness freak and who cared so much about his health is now in all ruins. So he started stealing and whatnot. I just pray that God blesses him and he heals. So it's very uh, depressing to know. There are a lot of cases of people that I also personally know who have lost their lives due to drugs, and I mean anything.
Especially
Yeah,
now there's that whatever fentanyl or something that they put in the heroin. It's not even real heroin. It kills them. Like even if you touch it, you could die. I don't. It's hard because it doesn't just affect them. It affects their families and their extended families and their friends and their community. And it's horrible. It's just horrible. I'm so sorry for you
yeah,
that that happened with your friend.
yeah, exactly. Like at that time when he was healthy and fine and not on drugs, I used to be inspired by his fitness routine. Like, no matter what, he'd go to the gym every day at the same time, and he was totally motivated. And now when I look at him, it's, incredibly depressing.
I'm
And
sure. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
and have lost some other friends as well. Not friends, but people that I know uh, due to drugs. Uh, it's just that, it's a very brilliant idea not to touch anything lethal. I think as far as the reefers go, it's all right. You could have it occasionally.
Yeah. I don't smoke pot, but I have friends who do, and I don't have a problem with that. But I just, when you get into hard drugs, cocaine and heroin and
Yeah, then there's
some of
no
these
coming back.
pills,
Then there's no
yeah.
coming back. Like I've had friends who'd been smoking up since a decade or so, and
Oh, wow.
yeah, and when they wanted to quit, they just quit it like this because it's
Yeah.
it's not you know uh,
Yeah. It's just,
it's not as addictive as these lethal drugs.
yeah.
So yeah, it's it's just painful. Just hit the pain point right over here. But yeah, life goes on, and I see you spreading positive energy, uh,
Thank you.
and I would ask everybody watching this to keep an eye on your friends, your family. If someone's missing uh, for some time, call call them up, check on them. If they don't receive your call, ask their friends if you have the contact. If you don't have the contact, go and check out uh, their place. Are they really there? Because when you get into drugs, you also get eyed by uh, gangsters and mafias who would cut you off for $100.
Yep.
So it's a very scary path down there, and I wish and I pray that uh, everybody stays protected and this epidemic, or what do I say, pandemic of drugs all over the world uh, dies out.
We can only hope.
We can only hope, and we will work on it.
Yes. Oh, I'm working my butt off for it.
Yeah. So, Kim, it's been a pleasure, and it's been an honor for me to be speaking with you. You're always welcome to screenbench.com, and you can always hit us up whenever you launch your new projects, and we will cover them up. We will write reviews for you. We will have another interview, and you're
Well,
always
thank you
welcome.
so much. Thank you so much. It was an honor to speak with you. I
Yeah,
really had fun.
yeah. I hope it was not like the typical interview. When were you
No,
born? Which city were you born in? What school did you go to? I just try
no,
to
this was really,
I just try to avoid those kind of questions because I mean celebrities are sick and tired of answering the same thing that's you know on the internet.
yeah,
Go on the
yeah,
internet,
it's
check
already
it
out
out. Why are you
there.
asking the person that you're interviewing? You should already know about the person. So yeah,
Yeah.
I try to avoid
Well,
those
thank
kind
you.
of questions, and I try my best to keep it as a conversation. So
I appreciate it. It was
yeah,
really wonderful. Thank
yeah.
you.
Thank you for your time, and anything that you would like to say to your fans who are spread, globally.
They can follow me on Instagram at the Kim Hopkins or at Live in the Moment Acting.
Uh-huh.
And that's it.
That's it. All right. It's been a pleasure, and thank you for your
Thank
time.
you. Thank you.
Goodbye, Kim. It was lovely
Bye-bye.
speaking to you. Bye bye.
Lovely speaking to you. Bye.